Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Sheva Dyanza from English Education Department. In this opportunity, I would like to present my proposal entitled Students' Perception on Vocabulary Acquisition through Vocabulary Self-Collection Strategy. Chapter 1. Background of the study. Vocabulary is not as essential compared to the other skills needed in the language learning process. According to the statement by Hunch and Brown in 1995, the term vocabulary leads to a set of words for a particular language or a list of words that speakers of language use. Without sufficient vocabulary, people cannot communicate and express their feeling both in the form of spoken and written effectively. Widodo, in 2016, cited vocabulary in speaking and writing, meaning making of vocabulary in listening and reading, and that vocabulary and knowledge are crucial dimensions of successful language learning, though other factors also contribute to this learning development. Due to the important role of vocabulary in the language learning process, the method and strategy used in teaching vocabulary are important factors. Teachers should use various teaching strategies that will help students feel present in the learning process. The effectiveness of strategies is needed in teaching vocabulary to make the students more interested, understand, and memorize the new word of vocabulary. Learning activities that occur in the classrooms involve many students from different backgrounds. This results in differences of perceptions between each student about a particular thing. Robbins in 21 stated that perception is how individuals organize and interpret their sensory impressions to give meaning to their environment. Students' perception are one thing that can be considered to help teachers choose and determine strategies or media that will be used in the learning process. Teachers can apply many strategies in teaching vocabulary, one of which is the Vocabulary Self-Collection Strategy, or VSS. Martha Rep Haggard developed a vocabulary self-collection strategy in 1982. Ali, in 2017, defined VSS as the type of independent learning that supports the student-centered learning method, where the students are allowed to choose, select, and collect words that they want and need to learn. Using this strategy, the students will have a new vocabulary list that can help them use English. Research question. According to the background above, there is a research questions to be answered. The research question formulated is: what are students' perceptions of vocabulary self-collection strategy in vocabulary acquisition? Purpose of the study. Considering the research question, the aim that is expected to achieve from this research is to determine the students' perceptions of vocabulary acquisition through vocabulary self-collection strategy. Chapter 2. Literature Review. Students' perception. Perceptions is how someone sees a thing. Perception is the thought about something that has been done, and it can be represented by attitude. Perception is done to conclude and interpret information. Perceptions will affect someone's belief about something. David Marr, as cited in The Mood, approached perception as problem solving. It is important to analyze perceptions to be successful in finding a solution. Students' perception is an important thing to consider in learning activities. As cited in Curious and Everybody, Tudor contends that their perceptions about language learning and their belief about the knowledge are required to make an effective learning process. Vocabulary acquisition. Lindsay and Noonan in 25 said that in language learning, students must know the language vocabulary that is a list of words with their meaning because it supports students' skill improvement. To speak and write, students need to learn 1 to 2,000 words. Subon in 2013 concludes that 200 words are the absolute minimum a language learner needs to process a text. Acquiring vocabulary is crucial for learners to be proficient in language learning. Success in learning a language requires vocabulary acquisition. Vocabulary self-collection strategy. Antonesi et al. In 211 state that VSS is interactive learning that promotes word awareness and motivates students to learn new words and supports their academic success. Students are actively interested in identifying important words from their learning activity to share with members of their class. This strategy is not only assessing the student in reinforcing their memory in wording, but also create a pleasant atmosphere for students. Artoni in 213, who explained that the vocabulary self-collection strategy guides students to make a list of vocabulary. The vocabulary list depends on unfamiliar and interesting words of students' perception. Chapter 3. Research Methodology. Research Design. This research is going to use a descriptive qualitative method. Descriptive research is a study of how different humans experience the world around them. Descriptive qualitative research is a qualitative research method that utilizes the data and is described descriptively. The goal of these descriptive qualitative studies is a comparative summarization in everyday terms of specific events experienced by individual or group of individuals. Participant. This study will take data from one junior high school in Bogor. Considering the importance of vocabulary in language learning, it would be nice if this strategy was applied at the earliest possible stage of language learning in school. In Indonesia, English lessons have only become a compulsory subject in junior high school. In the regulation of Minister of Education and Culture regarding the elementary school curriculum, there is no mention of English subject in elementary school. This is why the researchers choose junior high school students as participants in this study. Data collection. Nasaji in 2015 said that qualitative research typically involves a rich collection of data from various researches to gain a deeper understanding of individuals' participants, including opinions, perspectives, and attitudes. The data used in this study will be obtained in two ways: collecting students' reflective journals and conducting interviews. Reflective journal that will be made by students and interview will be conducted by a researcher to students aimed to gain in-depth information on their vocabulary acquisition experience through vocabulary self-collection strategy. Research instrument. Reflective journal. Reflective journals are personal records of students' learning experience to record the progress of their learning. Reflective journal is not only a summary of the search material, but also includes students' reaction to what they've learned and their feeling when the learning activities occurred. Zimmerman et al. In 1993 believe that the most powerful learning happens when students self-monitor or reflect. The use of reflective journal gives an opportunity for teachers to hear students' opinion and perceptions through the opportunity given to them to express their thought and change that they experience as part of their learning experience. Interview. An interview is a situation where the interviewer asks the interviewer a series of questions. Filed in 1996, as cited in Cohen et al. In 27, state that the use of the interview in research marks a move away from seeing a human subject as simply manipulable and data as somehow external to individuals and towards regarding as generated between humans, often through conversations. Data analysis. After the data has been gathered from the journal and interview, this research is going to use the step of qualitative data analysis, which according to Crosswell in 2018 are as follows. Organize and prepare the data for analysis, read and look at all data has been collected, coding the data, generate the description and time, and representing the description and time. I have presented all the content of my proposal from chapter 1 until chapter 3. That's all about my presentation. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.